The internet, possibly the greatest invention.
You can use it for work, play, or just to explore.
The internet became so popular because it was a way to share and navigate information, to create some sort of second life, a digital one, where you could explore anything.
Is the internet as we know it dying?
Now, what if I were to tell you that the way you use the internet is damaging you?
I firmly believe that within the next 5 to 10 years, the internet as we know it will cease to exist.
Say you have a question, you search it up on Google. What is the first site you usually see? Reddit?
For 1,000 AI-generated comments? We're trying to dissuade people with misinformation.
Or how about you're checking the news, breaking news in fact. Where are you? Twitter, otherwise known as X?
Comments these days are just filled with bots.
The problems with the internet today, monopolies, deceptions, bots, they are slowly being entrenched, and it's turning the internet into a ruin that only you can save yourself from.
Hi, I'm Dale Kostenikin Jr. Did you know that in a matter of months, not only will all your friends and loved ones and neighbors have the internet, they will have mastered it.
The internet back in the 2000s was seemingly more of a wild west. Most millennials tend to consider this age of the internet the golden age. And how could you really argue against them? Like, look at this real quick.
You're the man now, dog. You're the man now, dog. You're the man now, dog.
Amazing, isn't it? Above all the cool and unique websites, the wild west of the internet still had its top websites that dominated most of the web traffic. 2 websites in particular, Twitter and Reddit. Websites that nowadays everyone has heard of, while back in the 2000s, they were a little smaller, more niche.
Everyone is doing it. Everyone.
Did you Twitter me today?
Twitter probably more than I should.
Now I joined Twitter.
Reddit co-founder Alexis Ohanian has drawn up a veritable blueprint for internet startup success.
Now in the 2000s and 10s, these websites were very much more inside of the limelight. In fact, you could even go as far as considering them some of the most popular sites on the internet, minus Google and a couple of others of course. What made these sites so popular was the sense of community, the captivating conversations, and the active real-time news you could receive from them. The Boston Marathon tragedy, which became a famous example in which Reddit became a hub to get active information on the story. These sites proved themselves as more than just a social media, and with it came the opportunity to expand.
Microsoft designed Tay software to mimic the speech patterns of 18 to 24-year-olds. Tweet to Tay, and the bot tweets you back.
A bot. What is a bot? A Twitter bot, to be specific. Well, it's an autonomous software that runs through a Twitter API. Actions such as tweeting, retweeting, commenting, liking a comment. Some of the most popular ones being save my video and quoted replies. The growth of these bot accounts came with the growth of these social medias, and by 2020, Twitter and Reddit combined had almost 1 billion monthly visitors, solidifying these 2 sites as the pinnacle of social media. But the rise of social medias had some dire repercussions. The problem is that the open internet is dying. What used to be blogs, forums, is now Reddit. Tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of communities had their own wiki, blog, forum, and now reduced to be a subreddit. The internet has become fragile. One service goes down and everyone suffers. If the top 10 services went down, most people would think that there's no internet at all. Forums, the concept that had dominated the internet during the 2000s, had found themselves falling off in popularity. People stopped using forums and opted for something more popular, mainstream products such as Reddit and Twitter. Now why? Well, the logic among the masses was this. Forums prided themselves as being a place for people who had hobbies, niches, and wanted a place online to talk about it. And for the most part, this was extremely successful. Want to talk about sneakers? Well, here's Nike Talk. Want to talk about speedrunning? Speedrun.com right here for you. TexAgs, a fan website to talk about a Texas A&M university. You get the idea. A lot of these forums centered around a topic. You get in, conversate, then out. Want to talk about something else? Something else totally different? Then search for a new forum. Very rarely are there the people to talk about miscellaneous things. But when a website like Reddit comes around, and all of those same forums are all in one screen, the benefits are right there in front of you. It's quicker, more practical, and you only need to get used to one UI. By 2022, forums had depleted in popularity, with the smaller forums occasionally finding themselves dead or soon shut down. But to the average internet user, the problem was nothing in comparison to ads. How many of you guys have seen an ad?
Who decided to put ads on Netflix?
Am I the only one who's just like tired of YouTube ads? Like, what is going on now?
Yes, TikTok. For every video that I scroll, I want to get an ad right below it.
In 2023 alone, just under $700 billion was spent on online advertising, and it's only been increasing year by year. By 2028, it's expected to rise to just under $1 trillion. The amount of money companies were able to make from advertising their products simply was an offer they couldn't refuse. But the result was nothing short of interesting. What you see here is a website today without any ad blocks. Crazy, isn't it? Some would say irritating, but how could these companies refuse to host these ads? They made huge amounts of money in the process as well. News websites, YouTube, Reddit, X. Speaking of X, what's up with the name change? Well, in late 2022, Musk finalized his purchase of Twitter, renaming it to X and building out the website in his image. One of the largest changes he brought onto the website was allowing people to monetize their tweet pages. How much they get is dictated by the amount of views they get on their tweets. Engagement.
I am sick of engagement-based posting, engagement farming, engagement fishing, whatever it is you want to call it, I'm sick of it. And somehow all these different outlets and social media companies and journalist blogs have found the perfect formula in order to farm people's engagement.
All of this exists on Twitter and Reddit, and it puts you through an almost inescapable hole of consuming, scrolling, anger, and arguing. But it gets worse. An LLM. Trained off vast amounts of text, an LLM is able to output dynamic human-like conversation, far from a Twitter bot, one that acts with little to no understanding of anything. But even with Twitter bots, you're still able to do pretty wild things.
In the wake of the Russian interference efforts in the election, Twitter suspended some 58 million accounts.
We now know fake accounts created by Moscow reached more Americans than the total number of U.S. citizens who voted.
In 2023, a Nature Biomedical Engineering wrote that it is no longer possible to accurately distinguish human written text from text that is created by large language models, and that it is all but certain that general purpose large language models would rapidly proliferate. It is a rather safe bet that they will change many industries over time. Now, if you were some bad actor, you can only imagine the things that could be done with these tools.
Misinformation has been a persistent problem, with bad actors eager to spread it.
That found that on average, the 10 biggest large language models spread false information.
Artificial intelligence and the widespread use of social media have advanced and overlapped at an unprecedented rate.
Every time we talk about AI, generative AI, and its ability to create hyper-realistic photos and videos, I say, this is another turning point.
Making misinformation spread wider, faster, and more convincingly than ever before.
How do you know that the person you're arguing with, getting advice from, giving answers to, is a real person? The sad answer is that you probably couldn't. Or whether or not the chatbot that you're responding to is dedicated to wasting your time, misinforming you, or just making you angry. There were instances in which I was arguing on Twitter online with someone and found out later on that they probably weren't real. Times where I looked on Reddit for answers to a question only to question whether or not the answer was even legit. Times where I found myself getting tricked into clicking an ad perfectly placed within the posts and replies. That was when I realized it. While watching an episode of Gordon Ramsay's Boiling Point, there was a section in which Gordon and his friends were searching around the city for interesting clubs and parties, and they would go club after club, and that was when it clicked to me. If I were to ask you to browse a city for a food location, a party spot, or some cool little area, you would probably find yourself where everyone else is. And it only makes sense. These places are popular, but a city is huge. There are up to hundreds of different spots. Are all these places bad or worse than the main spot? Maybe. Are some of these places better than the main spots? Possibly, but most people don't even try. Now link what I just said to the internet. Social media, or the main ones at least, have started to find themselves wrapped up in problems that they don't even seem to want to try and fix. Only small efforts to combat specific problems, which is always good. But forums, which at this point have been almost buried, apart from a couple, is something that people may consider underrated now. As in, the buried aspect of these forums may actually be the saving grace. The people who still use these forums, revolving around hobbies and niches, truly do enjoy what they talk about. The engagement is more real than ever. And though forums do utilize ads, they are nowhere near as egregious as the sites you see today. Referring to a stat that I've seen, the internet is around 180 zettabytes, 1 zettabyte being a trillion gigabytes. Millions upon millions of websites and conversations, a whole nother world that we just aren't aware of because we spend the majority of our time engaging in the same 5 to 10 websites. And when those 5 to 10 websites are very open with their goals to keep you on their platform, angry or not, having you watch endless ads whether you want it or not, talking to chatbots whether you know it or not, then it will probably be right to just start discovering and see what's new.